president is Nigerian's president. He's from the southern part of the country. The vice president is the vice president of Nigeria. He's the northern part of the country. So Kashim Shettima is the most senior northerner in this government. If the president is unhappy with the working relationship, he doesn't think Kashim Shettima is pulling his weight, he wants somebody else, that's a different thing. However, if he wants to drop him because he believes that the North represents a real challenge and he has to tinker with faith and geography, then you have a problem. You now jettison the Muslim ticket first. That's a big problem for him because that's what gave him power in the first place. You go around looking for a northern Christian and maybe a minority and say, the Muslims don't like me. So you guys, northern Christians, line up, you are now my new allies. How many northern Christians do you think will feel comfortable with the president who just a vice president, a Muslim for whom he won an election? But the pointers appear to be that he thinks that the northern Muslims have turned their backs on him, and it's quite possible he will also turn his back on them. Now that would be a terrible miscalculation. Not because the northern Muslims can get him to lose, but because the next thing he has to do, because he needs a huge chunk of the North to come back as president, will be to go to northern Christians and say to them, okay, maybe in 2023 we did the Muslim ticket. I'm sorry you guys were offended, but I became president because of that. Now I will make amends. Give me one of your own, and I will run with it. Now you have two problems.
Seriously, that man speaking in that video is very intelligent and he has a calculated assumption and prediction about what the president Tinubu is playing as a game. But let's look at it this way. Sir, I have a different opinion to correct you on something because you don't know that Tinubu is adamant and negligent president. That is why I need to correct you to tell you that Tinubu will never pick a Christian vice president. Even if Tinubu drops Shettima today, he will still not pick a Christian as his vice president. Do you know why? He's adamant and negligent. Because Tinubu don't see Christians of Nigeria as anything. He has slapped them once, he's going to slap them again. Why am I saying this? Don't come after me. Don't think it's because of Obi or Showore is the reason I'm saying this. I'm going to give you people facts for you to understand that Tinubu takes Nigeria Christian as nothing. He takes them as nothing. In fact, he takes them as a useless religion. Why am I saying this? Now, let's take history. During 2023 campaign, election campaign, everybody knows that when we say something bishop in the hierarchy of Christianity, bishops are also part of one of the most anointed part of the hierarchy that Christians give reverence to. If this is a part of hierarchy that Christians respect, would you believe that Tinubu is a person that hired ordinary mechanic and some people to represent and pretend to be a bishop? Is that not a slap on Christians? Is that kind of person not adamant and negligence? Because you just slap Christians by doing that. But because you see them as nothing, you can do it. You can try it in the Muslim. In Islam, you can't try it. You can't go and call a mechanic to come and act as an imam. And war will not break out in Nigeria. You can't try it. You can only do it to Christians. Now, he end up going for Muslim ticket. And he's still going to repeat it again in 2027. Is that not adamant and being negligent? Now, again, let me give you people another reason why I said he has seen Nigerian Christians as useless. Now, he believes he owns their leaders, all the GEOs, the general overseer of many Nigerian Christians, have eaten from him. He has given them. You know, see, many of them, they don't have integrity. That is why you see Baba Adeboye can campaign and protest during the Jonathan with the same Tinubu, but they can't do it now. So, if he has all their general overseer in his palm, how will he value the Christians? He doesn't value them. So, sir, with due respect, he can never pick Christianity because he doesn't value Christianity in Nigeria.
A Nigerian youth called Tinubu Damat and nicknamed person. Like, there's no name that they will not call this president. But then again, a lot of people feel that Tinubu is doing all this. His most concern is for him to sit second tenure. Yes, he's doing everything possible because the way he's saying things is that a lot of people have stand up, both diaspora and here in Nigeria. They are looking to welcome another president, not as Tinubu, but another person that they wish to vote for, and they will make a Nigeria a better place. See, people have different opinion. There is this professor that speak click on Arrive TV this morning and I will see it. Even a man will understand what this man is saying. If you go to that, if you watch that videos, you understand the situation of Nigeria. We pray that God Almighty help us, because even though the rich people, it they touch them more. Make I not lie, they touch them. But then again, talk more of the poor, the less privileged. How are they surviving? But then again, we move. Hey, Jesus. If you ask me why I'm laughing, I don't know, because there's something that you cry, but you just put it to laugh. Maybe that is the situation I am right now. See, everybody is lamenting for a better country, which I have the full video for you to watch. But please do not forget to subscribe to UN2 Media, like, share, and turn on your post notification bell. Watch this professor.
The votes which he needed in order to win. So it is for them to ask themselves questions. What we are doing now, is it what will he deliver to us? But more importantly, you may have a party caucus that's also not on ground. The challenge is for Anyanwu to prove that he's the big boy those supporting him think he is. So if he's the big boy, if he has clout, but his brothers and sisters don't want him, let him show that. Let him prove that by the kind of, warehousing he will carry out in the Southeast. So it is not new. It's not unusual. Let's place some facts on principle on the table and then come to the matter of zonal politics. In principle, you cannot challenge a political party for taking a position on any issue at all. But from the matter of building party cohesion and synergy and giving everybody a sense of belonging, it would make sense to say that, look, if you're choosing somebody from my family, I should be the one to say, this is the person I want to represent us in the village square. So I can understand the caucus concern, but take that concern even further back to the time of Obasanjo. All the Senate, most of the Senate presidents chosen when the Southeast had the presidency, were they really candidates of the Southeast? Probably except one. So those are the things to consider. As far as I'm concerned, what's going on in the PDP now is not unusual. As for implosion, the PDP has imploded long ago, and I'll give you the reason for it. If you think of the re-entry of Alhaji Abubakar into the PDP, and he got the ticket, and how many people got annoyed, and how very powerful politicians in the North said, okay, he has got the ticket, let us see how he's going to win the presidency. That party is trying to pretend that he still has an identity. He's trying to pretend that the NEC can actually take binding decisions. He's trying to pretend that he can control his membership when nobody can control Nyesom Wike. So the party, I've said it before and I'll say it again, will take part in the next election. It will participate in the election, but I doubt that it will contest. And what that means is, if you're contesting with me for a gunfight and you come with a catapult, you're participating, you're not contesting, because to contest is to be prepared and equipped to win. The party is not poised to win that election at the level of strategy, at the level of cohesion, at the level of building internal democracy, and at the level of making all the regions feel they belong. The issue in the Southeast, what that will mean is that those who are angry will engage in anti-party activities if there's any election tomorrow morning, because they will then want to spite Anyanwu. Okay, you say you're the big boy, you've gotten the secretaryship despite our opposition, will not do anything for the party. Those are the challenges and dangers the PDP should contemplate and navigate.
Okay.
At the moment, now that he's taken the decision that he has to be Senator Anyanwu.
Okay, Prof, what does that "we will not do anything for the party" look like in your own assessment? Because there's speculation that it's possible that Governor Mba might be one of the next governors to decamp to the APC. But of course, there's also the emergence of the coalition and how they have adopted the ADC, and they've brought in disgruntled PDP members as well. Where do you see the balls falling? And of course, the fact that we can't ignore the Peter Obi effect as well, and the stronghold that he has in the Southeast. Where do you see the dice falling?
Three factors on the table: the coalition, Peter Mba's possible defection, and Peter Obi's relevance in the Southeast. Beginning with the coalition. You cannot have a coalition of people who are not only disgruntled, but all of them have had very disturbing relationships with each other in the past, have ideological differences, and they are also nearly all of them angling for the position, who will step down for the other. Secondly, all this talk about coalition we are talking about, apart from Abuja, Lagos, and maybe press releases, what efforts are being made at the levels below the national, even the periphery of the national, to create some kind of understanding, some kind of building backwards that, look, let's go to our party members in the state and tell them it's in our interest to do this. They want to form a coalition at the top and with it rule Nigeria. So that is problem number one. Problem number two, look at the relationship between nearly all of them. Remember that El-Rufai has the challenge of the Muslim ticket. Then Babachir is a diehard Christian. Many people think that Atiku Abubakar should step down. Rotimi Amechi is on the table, and some of us are not entirely sure what he's bringing to that table. David Mark is there also, 3-time Senate president with a lot of clout, among other things. Picture a room where all of them are sitting together to form a government for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. How will the conversation go? What are the policy issues they will bring up? They are likely to discuss positions. Who will be vice president? Who will be? It's not about development, even though the intention on the table, on the pretext, is development. The concern is to remove the APC government. Supposing, for instance, in doing this, they are telling us this is what we want to put on the table once we get rid of the APC. You see, there will be a basis for conversation. But to sound very angry, to tell us Nigeria, all of us are suffering, we know that, including those who are telling us that we are suffering. What do you intend to do about it? What are the alternative policies? What strategies are in place? The parties in which you are today, are they doing well? Is there internal democracy in those parties? The states where your party is governing today, are they doing well? Are the governors exceptional? When you consider all of these, then that's why I look at the whole coalition talk with a lot of pessimism. For simple reason that whereas it would be wonderful for them to displace the APC and replace the APC by some or whatever name they choose to call the party, the question I ask myself is, are they really preparing to do that? There's a difference between engagement and strategic engagement. You want to deal with the rain and a leaking roof, and you bring only buckets. You're not thinking of replacing the roof. They are not being strategic, and the profile of the individuals involved presents a double-barrel negative challenge for all of them. So that's at the level of at the matter of the coalition. They may pull it off, but I really need to see what they'll do that'll be so strategic as to displace a man who put all of them on the table, gave each of them 24 strokes of the cane, despite everything put in place for him, and became president. Now that he's president, he will also now probably be in the balcony drinking, and then you replace him. They should prepare for a fight if they are serious, and I don't see them being sufficiently strategic to do that. But the effect of what I'm saying is that it should then probably annoy them into designing a fantastic strategy for displacing the APC. But as it is now, I don't see that strategy. Peter Mbah's defection is a possibility. I don't know him. I don't know about him. Is it possible to defect? Yes. Could that make people say, oh, this man is not reliable? Yes, they can say that. But I will also ask, is conversion possible? Ideological conversion possible? Yes. Do defections occur in political parties? Yes. Do some of us like it? No. Does it remove the fact that somebody can do it? It doesn't. If you don't want him to defect, give him reasons not to defect. If somebody is going to defect from your party, why is he doing so? What's the problem with your party? Why is he moving? If you can't prevent him, first of all, admit your own shortcomings that are making people vacate your own address. The third point was the P2B factor. Yes. P2B is very popular in the Southeast, not only in the Southeast, but all over the Federation. The Obidient movement is strong and powerful and even growing stronger, but as I keep telling the movement, or whatever it is called, there are no polling booths on the internet. There's no polling booth on Facebook or Instagram. Polling booths are in specific local locations, and they have to be manned by party agents. That's fact number one. Fact number two, is the Labour Party or the Obidient or both of them together, are they building any kind of cohesion such that there's a progressive development of ideological purity, group cohesion, meetings and encounters, leading to the development of structures at the ground level? I'm not seeing it. Finally, on the P2B factor or matter, Obedience have argued convincingly and correctly that, look, we've proven a lot of people wrong. They say that without structure, you cannot win elections in Nigeria. But without structures, see all the votes we got in Lagos, see all the votes we got in all over the country. Fantastic. But I ask you this. There's an Igbo saying that the person who uses a mouse trap sets a mouse trap in order to catch a chimpanzee. the trap will actually catch the chimpanzee. But you know the problem? The hunter will neither come home with his trap nor the meat of a chimpanzee. You got all the votes, no question about that. You won Lagos, I believe you. Did those votes come into your pocket? No. Why? If you know the answer to that question, are you doing anything about it? So it's okay to announce that Peter was... Oh, look, they are just wasting the time they need to prepare for the next election in speech-making, in self-adulation, and in what you might call conversations that are not going further down. They are wasting the potential and possibilities of that movement. And also, I'd like to comment briefly, if you recall in the last election, look, Labour Party is correct in saying we know they give shishi. But I'll ask that party to make a distinction between mandatory expenses and discretionary expenses. If you send me to go to the market and buy you groundnut, and give me the money for the groundnut, but no money for transport, you say, oh, I'm a volunteer, I love you, but I may get tired on the way. And the danger is that your enemy may give me a ride, and I'll say, wait, why am I even suffering all of this? They have to recalibrate the conception of I know they give shishi to mean we will not bribe or spend money to subvert the process, but we'll deal with necessary costs for those who will work for us. I've had to run a program. You know, the program was a youth program, and it was even in his state. The youths, we had so many volunteers. I said on the budget, the ushers are going to be paid 5,000 per day. Somebody pointed out that, you know, they are volunteers. I said, fantastic. All of us can pay our bills. These are young boys and girls with no real means of income. What will it cost us? Let them know the value. The reason is that when you pay them for the cost of moving around, you'll be able to separate those who are greedy from those who want to work. But when you force everybody to pretend to be nice, oh, I don't eat. Meanwhile, he's carrying a spoon in his pocket, watching out for any stray plate that nobody is watching so that he grab a few grains. That is the part of the problem of that party and that group and that movement. It is good to be organized. Even now, there's no narrative anymore. That conversation must migrate the personality of Peter Obi out of conversation into the ideals that a government run by him will represent. That's number one. Number two, they must develop legs on the ground. Number three, and most critically, they must structure their funding clearly and tie it to specific things that enable parties to develop. It's not whenever there's anything to be done, you begin to find out, oh, this person will have to buy the ticket for him, so remove him from the list of those who are traveling. As long as they go on like this, they will also contest in 2027. No, they will participate, but they will not contest. That's in the element of the Obidient movement, Peter himself, and the rest of it. They are not preparing to displace APC because you're talking about a party that used fantastic strategy as opposition, demarketed the PDP comprehensively, demarketed Jonathan comprehensively, sometimes without data, claiming, oh, once we come in, we'll have $1 to $1. Successfully did that. He came to the primaries, contrary to everybody's expectation. Tinubu got the ticket. He came to the election. Oh, so he's a walkover. How can he? He has lost. He won the election, no matter the means. People are still seething with anger about the method, but the truth of the matter is that if you're going to displace or take on such a person, prepare for the fight. If you want to go into boxing or wrestling, prepare for wrestling. Don't go and prepare with wrestling skills for boxing. Then when they defeat you, say, oh, the man was too violent. Are you not the one who said you want to fight? So I think this delusional element of hoping that applause from the people will give you the presidency, it will not. That, oh, I'm nice, it will not help the Obidient movement. That movement needs to sober up, impressive as it is. It needs to develop more legs on the ground. It needs to also make sure, that those are some of the points to put on the table in this regard.
Understood.